G'day Raiders family, it's Bourkeys and welcome. 3 hours and 3 minutes to be precise till 7:30 kickoff. Sweaty palms, big game. Anything with Storm in it and Canberra is a big game. So I'm looking forward to this game immensely. A real challenge for us, a big challenge for us, and I'll cover that in our top 10. But these are the games that can sort of make your year. Can you believe we're in round 9? So we're nearly halfway through the regular home and away season. Remembering now it's only 20 rounds, not 24. So we're halfway through, guys. So we've got to start to get in some consistency and string some wins together to make sure we maintain our top 4 position or close to a top 4 position as we can leading into the back end of the season. So look, let's drill down on the Storm, shall we? Obviously Cameron Smith at hooker. So he's going to start at hooker, and he's going to play a lot of like Hodjo does, 2 or 3 steps to the left, 2 or 3 steps to the right, pick up a Sofa Solomona, the Bromwich brothers, Finucane, Christian Welch. It's going to be very boring and very basic. They're going to try and play in behind the ball. They're going to try and win the ruck and then give Jerome Hughes, I'm not sure if Munster's playing, and their speedy guys, Pappenhausen, a chance to really get over the advantage line. So it's going to be fairly boring play. However, Brandon Smith will come on. Now, Brandon Smith's role purely is invigoration, enthusiasm, and he tries to suck at defensive lines in. What I mean by sucker, the guy is that gritty and that determined that he usually can attract 2, 3, 4 defenders to pull him down. So he's throwing some sucker punches here. He's trying to get the edges, particularly the middles around dummy half and marker, but particularly those edges to come in and help if our markers are struggling or our middles are struggling to get the guy on the ground. He's a bulldog. But what he does with the way that he plays out of dummy half, by sucking those edges in, it then gives their halves a chance to exploit those holes that we're going to leave because we're trying to get him down. This is where Cameron Smith will go to halfback. Which is what I've got at number 3. So Smith at halfback, they want Brandon Smith to win the play the ball. So usually when Brandon Smith has a run, the next play is to Cameron Smith on the left edge. Left edge they'll usually go, which is going to be our right edge. So Cameron Smith will play left edge. So we've really got to man up on Brandon Smith. He's a danger. We can't get suckered into him. We've got to have confidence that that only 2 guys will get him to the ground. Otherwise, we're going to be left with our pants down on our right edge when Cameron Smith plays that way. So if Munster's not playing, then Cameron Smith will be halfback on the left edge, and Jerome Hughes will switch to right. So we've really got to be on our nous in relation to that move. 15, 20, maybe 25 minutes into the first half, it will happen. And Brandon Smith's really going to try and work us over in that ruck area. Number 4, I've gone for the Storm forward pack. Now, I think they can smell some blood with us and they're going to try and bully us. No Sia, no Bateman, no Emre, no Horsburgh. So we've got Louis, we've got O'Donnell, we've got Havili, on the bench. So we're a little bit down in stocks and Melbourne are at full strength. So I think they're going to try and play a lot in our forwards. So the likes of Papali, Hodso, Elliott, Joe Tarpanay are really going to have to step up and counteract, I think, the bullying that Melbourne Storm pack are going to do against us in this game. They're going to try and muscle in on that middle third, really try and work us over and spin to the flanks. May play in our way, I'll come to that now. So looking at us, I haven't really particularly looked at any individual this week. This is going to be a team effort of monumental proportions to get out of this game. First and foremost, our kicks must be on the ground. You can't give Vunivalu, Adokar and Pappenhausen kicks on the full. They'll just get too much yardage, they get too much momentum. Adokar and Vunivalu particularly are very good in bringing the ball back from kick returns and getting as much yardage as they can. So Hodso, Jack and George, those kicks have to be on the ground every time. So they bounce slowly to them. It gives our defensive line a chance to get up in their face. We've got to hunt in pairs. So particularly in attack, we've got to go 2 out. Because as I said, if Storm are going to try and bully us, if we go 1 out, we're going to get smashed. So we need to have players in motion around the ruck with Hodjo. So Papa goes with Tarpany. Havili goes with Elliott. So we've really got to be hunting in twos, particularly Shans and Jack need to be sniffing around there and getting an offload or taking an offload if we can get one away. But we can't just be going one out against the Storm. We'll get absolutely obliterated because that's what they thrive on. What they don't thrive on is when sides like to play wide. So we've got to be hitting those 10 metre channels consistently against the Storm, really spread their defensive line thin and make the big forwards, the Bromwich boys, Asafa Solomon, Finucane, really chase across and back. That's tiring work. Particularly if we can get a repeat set, it's going to bugger them. But I think we've just got to play wide. Number 8, we've got to keep the ball in play. So Melbourne like to slow it down, particularly 25 minutes into the game. They like to try and find the touch, give themselves a breather to walk to the scrum. We've got to try and keep the ball in play as much as possible against the Storm. They don't like an up-tempo game. They like it very controlled, where they feel like they're controlling the tempo, they're walking to the scrum, talking to the ref, just slowing things down to suit their style of play. We need the ball in play and use our speed and our footwork, get Jack one-on-one with a Finucane, or get George particularly around that ruck area like he scored that try last week. Really catch out Asafa Solomona, the Bromwich boys, Welch and those guys who are not good movers on their feet. So we want the ball in play as much as possible. The bench are going to be so important for us today, critically important. So we're really going to need big games and big extra efforts from O'Donnell and Louis and Havili and the likes of those guys coming off and adding what Brandon Smith is going to be adding to the Storm, is that passion and that enthusiasm to lift the rest of the players around him. I think it's going to be a very, very quick game, this one. So those bench players have to be primed immediately. They don't have time to work themselves into the game. They've got to be going at 100 mile an hour straight away. Number 10, against the Storm, you just can't have errors anytime. I don't care if they're in the corner, 5th tackle, and we just take it to a sideline and make them work out 100 metres. That's all right. But anything inside our half is just a no-go zone tonight, guys. We just cannot afford errors against the Storm because they will kill us and suffocate us. And they'll be kicking to our corners all night and making our back three working out, which we don't need. So good field position, the 1%ers, kicks to the corners, hunt as a team, hunt in pairs, back yourself with ability and communication and trusting your mate, ball in play, kicks to the ground, the bench have to lift, play wide. Pretty simple game plan. I don't think it's going to take a lot to get that type of game plan working if we've got the confidence, guys. So guys, that's it this week from me. It's a very short top 10 because I think it's going to be a very simplistic game plan with how we're going to beat the Storm with those types of plays. So guys, as always, I really appreciate your help, your support and your questions on my Facebook page. I love your Twitter questions, Messenger, YouTube channel, anything you want to catch up on Bourkeys Top 10. Love your support, guys, as always. Can't wait for the game. 3 hours, 25 minutes to go. Looking forward to it, guys. So as always, this is Bourkey. Bleed Green, out.